Rochelle and Ulster. It was quite a bruising game, to say the least. Don't even know where to start with this one. I guess a game for the purists. Really was a game for the purists. It's nothing flashy, but yeah, good old tough game in the wet, the lashing rain. Actually, didn't realize it was so bad until it zoomed in. I think on one of the first scrums, and you seen the rain. Awful, bloody awful. So yeah, I suppose let's go stats first. Let's get straight into it. Like a lot of kicking in this game, which is understandable considering the weather. The more you hold on to the ball, the more you tend to make mistakes and knock-ons, but it was just definitely a game for the forwards. The one thing that really gets me is early on there was a scrum and it took over 3 minutes to get the scrum set. It should never take that long. It really shouldn't. I think it's something that World Rugby need to look at, because it's slowing down the game so much. It's something that really gets me. I've played hooker. I know you can speed up a scrum. I understand the props are trying to fight against each other and get the best position and get the earliest hit, everything like that. I understand it, but 3 minutes. I mean, come on. So anyway, I don't know where to start. It was a very nutritional game. It was, I suppose maybe Ulster might have won the first half. It's hard to really know because there's so many mistakes. You couldn't really get into a good flow of the game, understandably so again because of the weather. And yeah, not the most fun game to watch. Wasn't the tidiest of them all. Yeah, so Ulster knocked the ball on. I think it was in the 30th minute on La Rochelle's try line, and I don't think it wasn't the tidiest of mauls. I think Ulster really need to do a better job of protecting the ball carrier. It happened a couple of times. I think La Rochelle were very, very good, and La Rochelle were down a couple of players. They were down a couple of their big players, and I think it was noticed. I don't think Rog would be too happy about that. For such a high caliber team, I suppose if you're missing that many players, you're definitely going to see it. But I just don't think they were firing on all cylinders at all, La Rochelle, until the latter stages of the match. Yeah, La Rochelle eventually got a yellow card for 3 penalties. I think it could have been a penalty try. Ulster, I think it was in later on in the first half. Like, not a whole lot happened in the first half. A lot of kicking, a lot of scrums, a lot of line-outs. So it's not really a whole lot to report on the statistics. But when Ulster finally got near La Rochelle's line, 3 penalties were given away. It was a yellow card for La Rochelle. I think there's an argument for a penalty try because there were quite cynical penalties. I think they were lucky not to concede a penalty try, which would have changed the game completely. Having won that early on. Look, Ulster were hammering the line on the 33rd minute, hammering it. And I think La Rochelle defence was pretty good, and it went to be passed out. And I think Jacob Stockdale, terrible handling, knocked the ball on, just kind of dropped it forward. And it just could have been, if he gave one skip pass, one floating pass, it would have been a try to Leinster. Sorry, I dropped my pen. It would have been a try to Leinster. Ulster, sorry. God, Ulster. Again, I'm new to this, so sorry, getting into it. It's still at the end, so turnover ball, La Rochelle's. I think it was just a slow half. I was trying to write down any standout moments, couldn't really. It wasn't the best. I did hear the commentator say just before or just after half time that Ronan O'Gara has 4 suspensions already. It wouldn't surprise me if that was this year alone, but no, I think it was while he was with La Rochelle. He's just such a hothead, and I think maybe with him not being there as much as he wants to be, I don't know if that's affecting La Rochelle this year. It's but that is good old Rog. Yeah, as I said, La Rochelle's maul defence I think was very, very good. Very good. They were very good at pulling the first 3 Ulster players away to expose the ball carrier, and the rest of La Rochelle forwards, the heavies, can get in, disrupt the ball, stop any momentum Ulster are building. Because it's hard to get them all going when you have huge La Rochelle players taking your first 3 out who are protecting the other 3 or 4 in it. You're not expecting to be hit by them. La Rochelle, good job. Yeah, I think another thing that was grinding my gears was, and it happens in every single game, the ball not being out of the ruck. It's something that really, really gets me. I think each ref has a different interpretation of when the ball is actually out of the ruck. And I think something needs to be done again at World Rugby, because it's slowing down the ball. Players are going offside when the ref deemed it not out. Some refs would deem it out. And I think maybe, don't know, could be wrong, but in my opinion, the best thing might be if the ref puts up a hand. Sometimes you see them putting up 2 hands. It might be best just throw up 1 hand when he thinks it's out. Because it's slowing down the game, in my opinion. Although it could be for the attacking team. The referees might want the attacking teams to have more time on the ball. I do not know. Second half, I think La Rochelle turned it on. Really in the 65th minute, I think the substitutions made a big difference. Made a big, big difference for La Rochelle. I think that was a game changer. Because 65 minutes, they were pounding and pounding and pounding on Ulster's line. You could see it. And I think Ulster were tired, because La Rochelle are bigger men. I think Ulster were tired facing up to them, trying to, equal the physicality that was being brought at them. And you could really see Ulster just slowly deteriorate a little bit. La Rochelle almost got a try, was short, and Ulster turned the ball over, kicked down the field. La Rochelle eventually get the ball back. La Rochelle kick on the 47th minute to kick a great 50-22. And it just shows you, it just keep the hammering Ulster back, they're putting them back. And as a player, that is so demoralising when you're after getting up there, fighting into the other side's half and a kick of 50-22. It's horrible. You're tired, you're wet, you're cold. It's not a fun time to be a forward. And I think because the pitch was so wet, obviously the backs could not play like they wanted. I think the forwards were really starting to tire for Ulster. You have to give it to La Rochelle. They held in there, they dug it out, and they grinded it out. They just turned it into a rough match. And unfortunately, at the very end, with the clock in the red, La Rochelle get a try. And it was so disappointing for me as an Irishman. Because if Leinster aren't playing, of course I support the 3 other teams, Leinster, Ulster and Connacht. And it was just really, really disappointing to see, because I think, especially in the first half, I think Ulster played so well, considering the conditions and how big La Rochelle were. Like, La Rochelle won the Heineken Champions Cup last year. So you're playing the technically the best team in Europe at the time. And to be so close, it must be heartbreaking. But look, I have to put my hands up to La Rochelle. They dug it in there. And that's where I think where you see a world-class team is when no matter what, they grind it a win. Even when they don't play well, they grind it a win. If they're missing players, they grind it a win. So yeah, look, big props to La Rochelle. I'm trying to find the match statistics, but struggling to find them on any website, because I want to see the possession, the knock-ons, the penalties. And as I said, I'm new to this, so in the comments, if you know where to find them, I'll happily do it and throw out more statistics and players and standout players. And that was not a game for it. That was not a game for trying to spot a standout player, because there wasn't really any. I suppose Ian Henderson did do well for the short time he was on. Well, not short time, but until he was substituted. A couple of other players. But yeah, it was just, I wanted to do that because I didn't actually get to see that game. So I just watched it. I wanted to do a review of it. Again, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll see you for another one. Any ones you'd like me to do? Well, I suppose the more I'm doing this, the more time I get, I'll be doing as many big matches as I can. And yeah, I'm trying to be as open-minded and not to be biased for Irish teams. So yeah, see you guys next time.